to see everyone, or hopefully you're happy to see me. However this works. Anyway, I have a great card for you today. I'm very excited for it. So let's get going. Okay, we're all set to go here to turn this into this. I hope you like this. I think this is so pretty. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our card base. Let's move all these goodies out of the way first. So this is your standard card base. I've cut it out of Flirty Flamingo. It's half a sheet of paper for all you lovely metric-y people. This is 14.85 by 10.5, scored down the center at, it's 14.85 by 21, scored at 10.5. If you are working with me today in Imperial, this is a half a sheet of Imperial, or this is metric, but you would be using a half a sheet of Imperial, which is going to be 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. So there we have our card base. So whichever one you're using, go ahead and burnish that down. Our first layer is going to be out of this amazing DSP that I got for free. And yes, you heard me right. I got it for free when I ordered this Stampin' Die set. This is all part of the big celebration that you happen when you spend 40 pounds. Well, for every 40 pounds that you spend, if you're in the UK, I believe it's 50 in the United States, you get 40 pounds worth, or you get to choose from our product in the celebration catalog, which is I've got right here, because believe me, excuse the dog-eared, but this is our celebration catalog. And this particular paper, of course I can't find it immediately, there we go. It's called Most Adored, and this is one I got free for this. So if you're ordering or you love this Stampin' Die set as much as I do, if you order now from the mini catalog, you'll get the stamp set and the die set as a bundle, which will be much cheaper than if you order them individually. So here we go. We're going to put the first layer down. This is your standard first layer for people that have been making cards with me before. We've got 10 centimeters this way and 14.3 this way. And if you're working in metric, you will have 4.25? Yeah, you'll have 4.25 this way by 5.25 this way. So there you go. This is your standard first layer. I'm going to slap. Look at that. We have another card coming up where I'm using this one. But this is the reverse side of that paper. How gorgeous is that? Let me get my glue. Let's put some lovely sticky on this. And y'all know the three-corner rule, right? If this, and this matches and looks even to you, so actually we need to move that up a little bit. Yeah, then the other one's even. And there we go. Now we spread my glue. Not necessary, just a habit I've picked up. So there is our card base ready to go. I'm going to push this off to the side for now. I'm not going to be getting out my Big Bertha die cutter here, because I have a hard time making focus and it looks terrible. So the ones I've done, I've really been kind of upset. But I'm going to show you what I'm going to do all but. So when you are using a hybrid die, if you haven't seen one of these before, they are the coolest thing ever. We've got another one right now. It's a citrus one that I really, really enjoyed this past summer. So I will show you how this works. This is the set, by the way. Here's the Adoring Hearts stamp set, which we'll be using the I Adore You and With All My Heart stamps out of there in a few moments. Here's the bottom. Now, this is interesting, okay? Believe me, it's interesting. We're going to open this up. See, so your Stampin' Up! Thing is on your right. And then we're going to open up this big thing. And this is to cut out all of these pieces. So you slide it around. You're always going to do this on the side where it's marked Stampin' Up. You can see that. Yeah, you can see that. Slide this in here and you sort of here, it will sort of snap there. See? It snapped in. And then you will place your paper. In this case, I have measured the paper out for you. If you, this will fit a 6x6 designer paper or a 15x15 centimeter designer series paper. So if you have one of those little short ones, you can fit it in one of these larger folders. So you put it in here like this. That's your die cutting area. That's up. So you place that in there like that. You always, well, line it up, of course. That was kind of sloppy. But you always want to put this into your die machine with this part going in first, and that keeps you from cracking your folder. Because if you put it in this way and these pieces get offset, it'll push it this way, same. It'll push it that way and it'll crack your folder. And you don't want to do that because these are lovely and you want to keep them around forever and ever and ever. Now, once this has been cut, you get this out of the way. Oops. Of course, I just knocked them in the floor. That's the way this goes. I saved a piece for you to see. Because I am going to use this in something. Oh, I've got a little piece of something there. This, I hope you can see it. I believe you can. This is all bumpy. It has little hearts on it. And then what comes out are the things I knocked in the floor. So hold on just a moment. Sorry about that. And it comes out these embossed pieces. Now this one, obviously from a different one, because you're going to do this twice. You're going to run a piece of Flirty Flamingo through, and you're going to run a piece of Real Red through. And you come out with these beautiful embossed plates. Now, I happen to think that's the way up because the emboss is up. But look how pretty the other side is as well. So it's kind of up to you how you want to do this. I actually rather like, I guess that would be the deboss side on this one. So anyway, pick them out because they're fun. But there's 3 different patterns in the emboss. And I'll try to hold it up again. I'm not sure you can actually see them. But you've got 2 leaves with some dots. And then I think this looks sort of almost like a Pennsylvania Dutch pattern. And then a pair of branches or buds on this side. So this is the same thing, it's just repeated. So you have 3 different ones. All right, let's set this aside. Now we've just run this through our die cutter. We've chosen these 2 hearts out of both runs through. So those are the hearts we've chosen. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use our die machine. We're going to use some more dies out of here. So we'll put the big one back. No, don't put the big one back. I've already set it aside. There are 4 dies here. I chose these 3 to use. You can obviously, I used 3. You can use ever how many you want, of course, or whichever ones you want. I don't know, random. I just pulled these out because I loved them all equally. But I cut those from another strip of paper, another strip of DSP out of that amazing set, and this one has swirls on the back. And if you've been following me, you've seen this one before. We had a similar paper like this. It might have been the mini catalog, the last mini catalog. But anyway, you didn't have this gorgeous plaid on the other side. I cut my little bits using these out of the plaid, and the reason I did so is I felt like with the tiny bits of color showing in the plaid, it made these look even more delicate than they already were. So yeah, speaking of delicate, do go careful when you're pulling your cut pieces. Oh, come on, out of these, because that's very small there. But they do look how beautiful they cut. It's just amazing. All right, let's put this out of the way. Hopefully not drop them in the floor. Okay, now that we have cut our pieces, we have one bit more to do. And this is, oh, these are leftover scraps from when I was cutting the surface. I'll show you what I'm going to do with those in a moment. But now that we've cut our bits and pieces, let's put this up here. The next thing we're going to do is some stamping. So I am stamping with Yoldi Real Red because those are the colors we're using. And where's my block? There. And like I said, from the die set, I'm using I Adore You. We're going to do this one first. Doop. I love watching through there. I think that is just so fascinating to watch the ink sort of jump onto the stamp. It's sort of silly of me, but I really do like. That's why I like the photopolymer stamps. Okay, now let's give ourselves plenty of room because we're going to punch it out. So I'll just pop this up here like that. Down tight. Boop. Now close this up. We can put Real Red away. Don't need it anymore. I'll clean my stamp up very quickly. As you guys know, I'm just rather adamant about that. Doesn't take but a second. And since we're using red ink, of course it dyes. It'll dye our stamp pink. But the quicker you get it off, the less pink it is. Right now, where is our punch? This is also available in the mini catalog. This is our Heartfelt Hexagon punch, which I adore. If you were with us last year, you could buy this punch as you could order it as part of a set that they did in the summertime, the Stampin' Card Make Along. So we've got our hexagon punch. Pull it through here. We are going to line that up. This one's easy because the eye, you know it's going right down the middle. A couple of these are not so easy to line up. I've had to, ooh, that looks good. Nope. All right, there we go. We are done with this piece of paper. Done with our punch. Let's block it away. And now what we're going to do is put some color on, where is my, what have I done with it? Ah, here we go. We're going to put some color on this. It looked a bit stark, so I really felt like it needed this. A lot of things that you punch out or labels don't need this, but every once in a while you'll run across one that seemed a bit too stark for what you're doing. And if it ever feels like that to you, definitely give this particular method, what do we want to call it? I guess trick. Give this trick a go. So you just take a blending brush. You can use a sponge dauber if you would like. If you do that, prefer that. I think the blending brush for this particular purpose works a bit better. But you take just the brush or the piece of sponge and you start working from off the object. Set it down so you can see where my ink is. You set it down because every time you set it down, you're going to get these dark spots. That's why you always set it down off your paper and slide it onto it, or off your object you're painting, coloring, blending, whatever you're doing. Now this takes quite a bit. Normally I work off of a block, but I've got something stuck on my block right now and I don't want to take it off because it's aligned for another project. So we're just doing it the rough way. We might be wasting a little ink here, but I just wanted to show you what a difference that this makes. Ah, did you see how that's almost spotty looking? I didn't get it quite off of the paper that I'm working on. So even though I can blend and blend and blend and blend, you never get rid of those little spots. So that's why it just looks more even if you do it like this. Go from off the page and then push it on. So I hope you can see the difference, that darkening the edges versus not darkening the edges. And I'm using Flirty Flamingo to do this. So basically, I am just literally darkening it, yes. Because this is the same ink color as the paper. So this, as you can see, takes a few minutes to do. So here's one I've prepared before. So you can see how lovely that looks. So like I said, if you ever get a greeting and you're looking at it, you're going, well, it seems bright, or it doesn't seem right. Try this method, because you'll be surprised how often you use it. Same thing if you put a layer on something. Here's my card base. If you put a layer on something and it still doesn't look right, or it doesn't blend right, try blending a little bit of a darker ink around the edges. This works out especially well if you're using a layer that's been run through an embossing machine, so the whole back layer's embossed, like a background emboss. Sometimes darkening the edges of those look really well, because they'll emboss all the way off the edge, and it'll kind of even them up, because you can look lopsided, even though it's not. It's the shadow of the embossing part. Gee, I hope that made sense. It made sense in my head. Anyway, just a tip for you. Now this is easy peasy to put together. Let me grab my pieces back in here. I mean, we're almost done, folks. How cool is that? All right. Now, I put this on the paper about where I wanted it to be. So I wanted it just down from center. I wanted about 5, is it 5 centimeters? About 5 centimeters from the edge. And then what I did, this is a case from the catalog. There's one in there that's very like this. Although when I was telling my husband about it, he was like, I don't see what you're talking about. I've looked all through the catalog and I don't see this. And I said, well, it's on the page with the hearts. And he goes, I still don't see it, which I don't know if that was man thing or he really didn't see it. But regardless, I'm going to put some glue on these. Glue. You can see it was gluing already. All the lovely shiny glue bits here. This is, do you know? Yeah, that's all right. Come on. There we go. I keep thinking, I see people that use those little glue, little bottles that have the needle tip in them for the glue. I think they're just a really good idea. I just haven't ordered one yet. I actually haven't found one here in England. They apparently are very easy to find in the US, but not so much here. All right, now I put this one, or my first victim, directly across from where I wanted this, and about the same thing. So I lined it up so there was the same amount there as here, and of course I got glue on that. Okay, it will dry. Let's do the other two pieces. Put these up here. I don't know why I'm showing you the gluing part. Oh yeah, because I'm going to avoid showing you the tying the bow part. That's one of the things I practiced over Christmas was bow tying, because I thought, I'm finally going to get to the point where I can tie bows, because at Christmas time I tied lots and lots and lots of bows. Okay, this one I'm sort of lining up off of this so it's closer to the top over here. Almost lining it up like that, but not quite. There we go. Come on. Oh, just everything is stuck to me. Does everybody else have that problem when working with glue? But anyway, the bow tying thing escaped me once again. I use a thing called a Bow Easy, which I tried and looked for this because I thought, well, to me, now you can see I'm kind of lining these up here. So roughly the same amount of space there to there as here to here. I could put it back over a little more that way. And I am kind of I'm cheating. This is plaid. I use the plaid line to line it up. So that will lay in there nicely and stick down and we are done with the goopy glue for the moment. Now these guys are going to get popped up with dimensionals. Yeah, don't ask me where that came from. Where's my dimensional applier? Everything's in a big pile over here. One of these days I'm going to go way out so you can see what my desk actually looks like when I'm making something, because you probably will shudder. Okay. Popping these babies up. So here's another tip. We're working with odd numbers here because for some reason odd numbers are what your brain likes to see. Nobody really knows why. I'm sure somebody's made some sort of study out of it, but I actually have looked to see. All right, so this one, I want this to be overlapping but not sort of covering it completely. So I'm placing these about, eek, come on. Please come here. Now you know why I use the tweezers all the time. I have very dry hands. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Make it sort of stick out. I want it to overlap, but not necessarily by a lot. And I want to, there. I want to be able to show these out from the bottom so you can still get the idea that they're, oh, you're not high enough. That's the problem. Okay, if you ever do this twist, I think I showed you on this last video, if they're not stuck down, then you can twist them to pull them back up. Okay, I want you higher. All right, let's leave it in place right there so I can get this one down. I don't want this one. Ooh, almost got my head in the way. There we go. That's right. All right. So we actually are making a triangle shape here, and we have the 5 decorative elements. So we've got an odd number. There's one of the greeting pieces, and that's an odd number, which is why you always see, and people do it instinctively, but when you go to design school like I have, you are taught that the reason that people do it instinctively is they just do. They like seeing one main focus. So your greeting is always in a 1. You can put things around the greeting, but you only have one set of words. If you have more than one set of words, while it's true, it moves your eye around the page. Unless the words are used as a background element, your brain will become confused and will not understand what the focal point is. And you'll automatically not want to look at it. Don't believe me, try that out. When you've got pieces and you arrange them, it's a really interesting thing to do. All right, now let's put some popper-uppers. Whoops. They really should have named them popper-uppers, don't you think? Dimensionals is just, I don't know, it's kind of plain. Okay, that's probably one of the silliest things I've ever said. I'm going to admit to it now. If you don't tell anybody I said it, I won't tell anybody I said it. All right, let's... Oops, come on. Off with his head. And now we're going to place this down. We're going to tuck it under just a little bit so we can get back to, remember where we had it before. And now we have, now one more touch. Let's get this stickies out of the way. Need one more sticky here, and that is, I tied us a bow earlier. Here's one I did earlier because, as I said, not tying a bow on camera. I struggle, and I use a machine that I'm not sure is any longer available. I checked today. So glue dot, my favorite way to stick down a bow, because they won't go anywhere, even if they're run through vicious machines. Put the bow right down the center, like that. Oh, him needs a little trimming. Where's my super sharp scissors? I keep a separate pair of scissors for cutting ribbon, because you really need something sharp to keep it from there we go. That'll give you a nice clean edge. Okay, and that is Real Red. It came out of the Real Red and Garden Green. Now I've got one more thing to do, because life is not complete without bling. Now, you can question my wisdom on this all you want. I have used the Tinsel Gems 4-pack. And if you're reading the back, this Flirty Flamingo nor Real Red is in here. However, I thought those were the perfect match. They are actually is it the Blueberry Bliss? What is the new red one? It's not Blueberry Bliss. What is it? Great. I'll have to look it up and tell you. But anyway, this color seems to be completely unrelated. But I thought that it matched so well that I had to use it. So I'll get that color for you. And I'll write it down. Everything is written down on my website, by the way. I've got all the written instructions. So you never miss a thing, even if I misspeak it here. All right, bling, 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 bling. Let's do a little, again, we're doing sort of a triangle-y thing here. No, sit down. There it goes. Okay, there we go. Okay, that is it. Super simple, super quick. Really enjoy doing this one. As I said, it is a case out of the catalog. I hope that you enjoyed this. I just think this was one that really you just couldn't miss. This arrangement is so pretty. Now I also did line. I cut a liner for the inside. I think that's quite important. And I had all of these leftover bits when I was trimming the paper to fit. So I just dropped the ones I had already cut. But anyway, what I will go back and do is glue these little leftover strips, because this is a really super way to use it up. And you glue that down there, and you glue that down here. I can just do that for you really quick. We've got plenty of time. I think this is a very nice inside finish to the card. And this one is going to my husband, who really does like plaid. He probably likes plaid more than flowers. Now, I've done another one of these cards. Well, actually, you've seen it. And on the front, it says, with all my heart, because the inside greeting is going to be a little different for a friend of mine. And she likes flowers. So, great. Sorry. Just chased my ink almost off the paper. Ink. I'm talking about my glue. Do not want your glue to fall and hit the ground. That can be a tragedy, especially when you have to clean it up. Fortunately, I do not have carpet here, but I know many people do. Could you imagine dropping a glue bottle in carpet? Yeah, I can. I've done it. Okay, and then we're just going to trim off. These are my glue scissors, so let's use these. There we go. See how nice that looks? And then just scraps that were left over laying on my counter. Now the other thing actually I'm going to do, now I can go ahead and do it on camera, it doesn't matter, is as I mentioned, this one I use on the front, I Adore You. Now on the inside of this same thing here, let's stick this one back down. And I'm going to get With All My Heart. So also, for my other one, I haven't mounted the inside for the second one. Come here. But I stamped this pretty image here as an inside piece. So as you can see, cutting something pretty for the inside really just, I think it really makes a difference. Makes it look quite finished. So that's for the original one that I made. Whoops. For this one, I'm going to stamp. Now, since the pink is very prevalent here, I think I am going to stamp in pink. Or I'm going to stamp in Flirty Flamingo, which is actually sort of an orangey pink. I think it's gorgeous. So let's do With All My Heart here real quick. Okay, that looks beautiful. Move the out of the way. Try to line this out without getting my head in the way. There we go. Now I'll clean that up off camera since we're almost done. And what do you think? I will glue that down inside. And voila, all done. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I enjoyed making it. I think this is one of the prettier ones I've ever done. And just want to say happy Valentine's Day. And even if you don't celebrate the holiday, as I'm going to do with this other card, is I'm going to send it to a friend of mine who has been really helpful to me over the past year. And so I used the With All My Heart thing to use on the outside. And then on the inside, I'll use a thank you greeting. And I've got a little letter I want to write for her. So anyway, this is the great, February is a great time of year to tell people that you love them. It doesn't have to be, romantic love. It can be any kind of love. Just use it and pass it along. Have a great day, folks. And happy crafting.